Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Jenny Live. Hope you're having a great evening. How was your weekend? I know for a lot of you it is what do you call those? The free day, feriado in Spanish. That's my Spanish today. You're not working. Yeah, there you go. Oh man, I just realized that I don't know why, but the TV moved and I can't read your chat. Sorry. Anyway, join us. Welcome. I can read the bottom ones. Looking good, my dream girl. Hi, Lolo. I hope you guys had a great weekend. If you're still celebrating, then I hope that the weekend is going good so far. And tomorrow you get back to work with the best vibes and the best energy. It's definitely one of those chill days, right? On Monday. ¿Cómo están, amigos? Muy buenas noches. Labor Day weekend. Okay, so but what do you call the day of the week? Thank you. The day of the week that you don't work. Like in Spanish, it has a name. It's called feriado. Oh, I don't know what you call it in English. So, happy Labor Day weekend if you're in the U.S., of course. Hello, beautiful queen. Hi, James. Hi, Eric. Happy Labor Day. So aren't you supposed to work on Labor Day? You know, like it's Labor Day for a reason. Like everybody get to work. Come on, don't be lazy. Get to work. Yay! Welcome. All right, guys, we have a couple things today, but I'm going to start off with this little bit of news. It says that the Starliner crew that is stuck in space reported hearing strange sonar-like noises emanating from their craft on September 1st, 2024. That's yesterday. Okay. A somewhat eerie noise started to emit from the Starliner spacecraft, and astronaut Butch Wilmore said to Mission Control at Johnson Space Center in Houston, "I don't know what's making it. I don't know what's making the sound." This is the real audio. We're going to show the video of the real audio. The Starliner is now due to fly back anonymously to Earth on Friday, September 6th, and astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams will return to Earth next February, flying on board a Crew Dragon spacecraft scheduled to launch with just 2 astronauts later this month. This was from the X account of Unexplained 2020. This guy's name's Vic. He has really good info about this stuff. So why don't we go ahead and put the video if we're ready so you guys can hear it. It's a little creepy.
Station Houston on 2, we're configured for audio via hardline and CST, if you want to give us a call.
Okay, I'm in Starliner, and how do you read?
5x5, how me?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm gonna keep the mic up next to the speaker.
Copy.
Hear that?
At negative, Butch, we did not hear anything.
That.
All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time, and I'll let y'all scratch your heads and see if you can figure out what's going on. Here we go. All right, over to you. Tell us if you figure it out.
Yep, good recording. Thanks, Butch. We will pass it on to the team and let you know what we find. And Butch, just to make sure I'm on the same page, this is emanating from the speaker in Starliner. You don't notice anything else, any other noises, any other weird configs in there?
Very nice. Nothing else. Everything else is normal.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, so there you have it. Doesn't this remind you of one of those movies, right? And there's a lot of them where all of a sudden their astronauts are in space and weird noises start happening. And not too long from those noises happening, they get invaded by aliens. Sorry, obviously I really hope that nothing happens. But yeah, weird sonar noises that they don't know where they're coming from. Well, they know, but Of course, nothing's ever going to be said or told, or maybe things will change now that the whole UFO and alien information is coming out to light, right? Let's hope that they do get home safe and sound. Let's hope that the Starliner doesn't come back with some weird species attached to the bottom of it that all of a sudden later, starts invading our planet. Oh, God. Could you imagine? Movies coming true. Yeah. A lot of times also I feel like we see all these movies in a science fiction way. So if there were ever a little bit even of a possibility of being real, it's still going to be unreal in our minds because we're going to feel like, hey, it's a movie, right? So, yeah. Okay, guys, let's start with our topics. Thank you. Hello, beautiful queen. Hello, James, Lolo. Welcome, guys. Jenny, opening the third eye. Ooh, yes, please do. Please open your third eye. What can you tell me about this? Opening the third eye will bring more wisdom and knowledge about the spiritual plane. But without proper guidance or preparation, can it not also be dangerous? I don't know if dangerous as in like, something can physically happen to you. But yes, dangerous in the fact that if you are not ready to deal with the other world, with the world that is, sorry, I'm trying to, change cameras here, and with the, with the world that's spiritual, like the world that we don't normally see. Like if you're not ready for it, you can 100% go crazy. I feel like this has happened already to a lot of people, where they get to the point where they start opening up somehow, some way. I mean, even people that have taken any kind of drugs, right? That opens up their brain. They start seeing things in other dimensions, and then those thoughts or even those images or are still with them after even the effect is over, because maybe there's a way that you can open these neurons up and they'll stay open. So when they say, when you see someone that's been on drugs for a long time and you just call them crazy because they're paranoid, and they're all over the place. Well, I'm saying, I don't know. I've never met anyone, but that happens, I'm sure. I feel like that's just because they've left something opened. So it's just a matter of adjusting your mind, your conscious mind, right, into saying, listen, what you are seeing is indeed there. Just you have to know how to cope with it. There's one thing that I've always asked in my spiritual journey, and that's that I don't want to see with my bare eyes things that I see with my third eye, if that makes sense. So, for example, I can close my eyes, I can go into a room, okay, I can close my eyes, concentrate, and I can see what's there energetically. Okay, if my eyes are open, I see our dimension, right? Like that's the choice that I've chosen. I hope it stays this way, because I like to live in these two worlds, right? So whenever I'm ready to see something else, you're just kind of prepared for it, and okay, you seek for it. But my husband, on the other hand, he sees everything in other dimensions at all times, like 24/7. So he'll be here, and he'll see if something's following you or walking behind you, or there's an entity, or there's an alien, or even see if there's things inside of people. He sees this, like he sees people for who they really are, which, in my opinion, is really freaky and traumatizing. I once asked him, how did you cope with this? Like once you started, because he started opening up that gift when he was around my age now, like 35. It's actually when he received the energy. So he said that he didn't have anybody to speak about this to. He said he just kind of dealt with it, and that yes, even his brain felt funny at times, because it's kind of like, he would say, I would feel like I'm here, but I'm not here. But eventually you get adapted to it because you're living in two dimensions, and that is opening the third eye. Actually, when you start seeing other dimensions, and this is something that everybody's able to do it. It's totally possible. It's just a matter of exercising your brain and wanting to do that, because if you think about it, if it's going to bother your everyday life, in a sense that it's going to interfere maybe with your job or with whatever it is that you're doing, right? Then don't, why do you want to do it? But I think it makes life easier. I think that at the beginning it's traumatizing because imagine seeing, right, like we're seeing the material things, we're seeing everything that's happening. Welcome members. Hi, David, Caesar, Daniel. How are you guys? And then all of a sudden you start seeing demons, angels, entities, aliens, you name it, you see it. Alushas, which is what lives here in the jungle. He describes them. He describes it like these gnomes that really have no form. They're kind of deformed and dark with eyes. And yeah, I mean, if you're not ready for it, if you're not informed of these things and that they exist, obviously the first time that you see something walk right by you, all of a sudden you're going to be like really freaked out. So I think it's something difficult to go through by yourself, honestly. I think that if you have someone next to you or you have someone that you can talk about this to and you can share your experiences that you're having, they can kind of guide you through it. So I've always said, I don't want to see it in my regular life. I'm okay with seeing it whenever I get into my energy mode, right? Like I'm another person. Like I have three personalities, I think. One is my everyday chill person. The other one is the TV one, right? Where it's like, okay, action, go. And then the other one is my spiritual advisor one, which I'm the same as I am now, but once I concentrate, I'm no longer in my body. So it's just kind of like, well, let's see ethereal wise, let's see energetical wise how you are and what's going on. And yeah, sometimes I'll get like glimpse of even if just by having the person in front of me and putting my hands in their face, like I can see glimpse of their life. And my husband doesn't need to do that. My husband could be right next to you and he's already like analyzing all of your life and what you've been through. And so it's really difficult to get by him, like for a negative person to get by him without him noticing. And I think that's also why I've come a long way in spirituality, because I have a good mentor. So, but to be alone, I remember a couple of weeks back, I started asking him, like, how did you do it? Like, how did you go through this change of jumping to another dimension totally, by yourself? And he's like, I had no choice. It's like you just kind of get used to it, especially in Argentina, that everybody's like, if you, not anymore, but for his age, like back in the day, 35 years ago, it was still taboo if you saw things, right? Like you would be just called a witch or witchcraft but today is different. It's like, oh, you have a gift. No, you don't. You're clairvoyant. Okay, so you've developed your clairvoyance. Amazing. But I think the third eye is something that we have opened since we're born, and we close it specifically with the fluoride, for example. So a little bit of fluoride is good for your teeth, but not too much. That's why theories say, right? Conspiracy theories say, but they've been proven that why do they put fluoride in the water? Why? I mean, it's already been proven that it causes health problems. So there are certain states, specifically in the U.S., that are banning a certain amount, sorry, of fluoride in the water, and so on and so forth. So it's just a matter of, well, check what you eat. Don't eat junk. Make sure you eat healthy. And yeah, you can research ways of how to cleanse your pineal gland as well. That's going to help. I lost my phone in a cab, and he's bringing it back. Really, you are so lucky. I've definitely, did I miss any other interesting comments? Let's see. Hello, okay, no, down. Let's go to the long ones. There. Look stunning tonight. I always say you look beautiful. Thank you, Jaime. You carry yourself so well. Thank you. They're still good people, I've, 3 days ago, I went to Tulum, and I was taking my husband to the airport. And on the way back, I realized I had no gas. My light was on red, and I got out of the house so fast that I took the wrong purse. So I use like really small purses, or like a phone with like, where you put your credit cards. I don't really have like these big purses like they use in Miami anymore. And on the way, and I noticed it was red, so I stopped at a gas station. And when I go, before I ordered, I go to check, my card, and I'm like, oh crap, I don't have my card with me. So I tell the guy, listen, I'm gonna go home and I'll be right back to charge gas because I'm in red. And he looks at the car and he's like, don't worry about it. He's like, I'll give you 100 pesos is like $7, $8. So you can at least get home safe. And whenever you come back here, you can pay me. And I look at him and I'm like, they don't make people like you anymore. I'm like, you don't have to. I have enough to get home and come back. He's like, no. I'm not gonna let you leave here until you at least put $8 in the car. And I'm like, you really don't have to, I can come back. And he's like, do you know how many times I do this? And he started telling me a story. He's like, at least every day there's somebody that comes by and people ask him for money. I think they already know that he does this, which is sad because people take advantage of those situations. He's like, I've even gifted people up to $120, $50. And they say, I promise, I'll bring it back. And I never see them again. But you know what? And then he got religious with me. Then he said, but I know that God will never leave me. So I know that I'm always going to be spared, and I'm always going to be lucky in whatever I need, even though I'm short in rent. I always meet the month's end, so it's always going to be okay. And I was just so touched by him, and I'm like, and he's like, and you are blessed. I'm like, thank you. So obviously, so he put a little bit of gas in my car. I went home, and I'm the type of person that I'm very strict, in the sense of the right thing is the right thing. So I went right back and I gave him a little more, of course. He's like, oh, you don't have to. And I'm like, no, you deserve it. I'm like, nobody would have done what you just did. Do you not realize how important that gesture was? And it's not even about the money. It's just about the fact that you're willing to trust a total stranger that you don't know. And he looks at me and he's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think you were going to come back. He's like, so see? He's like, the Lord provides, because I gave him a little more. And I'm like, and don't get, don't fall into what everybody says. I mean, giving somebody $5, $10, for them to get home and back. But don't give $100 or $50. And he's like, no. I mean, some people really need it. And I'm like, yeah, so do you. Like, so you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, it's good to help. But a lot of people, unfortunately are not like me and are not going to come back. And he's like, yeah, it happens to most of the time they don't come back. I'm like, that's messed up. But yeah, anyway, just thought I mentioned that. There's still good people out there. So I'm glad that the taxi driver is bringing back your phone. See? We do not lose hope in humanity, you guys. There's still good ones out there. My third eye just got poked. Okay. Did you watch the Jerry Lewis telethon? No. Alvin, so every time you message something, it basically talks about what you're watching. It seems like you watch a lot of TV. I do not watch any TV whatsoever other than the weekends to watch a movie or so. And if there's no good movies, I prefer to not watch TV. Hi, Delilah. How are you? I like your husband's on some good drugs and give me some. I'm like your husband. My husband doesn't do drugs, so he actually despises it. And I mean, even the light stuff, he's like, nope, don't even want to see it. And he doesn't drink alcohol. So when you're in that level where your mind is so open like that, yeah, you tend to just reject even alcohol. You reject everything. I mean, you live in another state that most of us can't really understand until you get to that point, Thank you, Daugor. Welcome, Colombia. Bring your husband on sometime. I did. I told him that we should do a show together. The only thing is that it's going to be all in Spanish because he doesn't speak English. But we could, if you guys have some good questions that we could talk about, and then I'll just subtitle it. Actually, I don't even need to subtitle it anymore. You guys have automatic translation in YouTube. How long have we waited for this? It's so amazing. ¿Cómo estás, Tarcisio? Buenas noches. Jaime. Hola, David. Hi, David. How are you? The noise is very strange. Yeah, well, it sounds like a sonar. It's exactly what they said. So it could be some kind of course, we could just say could be, right? But it could be some kind of UFO nearby that's trying to make contact, and these guys have no idea how to decipher it. That's all. Kind of a weird question. Have you ever seen the Jersey Devil? Because one, what I was in New Jersey, I was doing urban exploration somewhere in Jersey, and I thought that I've seen the Jersey Devil briefly. I have never heard of the Jersey Devil. What is that? I'm guessing it's like La Llorona, right? Like I feel like every place has like their ghost, right? Like in every city or every country, there's a specific name for a ghost. No, I didn't get a chance to live in Jersey enough to say that I'm even from there. So that's why you guys don't hear me say like I'm from Jersey. No, I'm not. I was only, barely 3 months there as a baby, and that's it. So I don't have that privilege, you guys. I only say I'm American, but you have a beautiful heart and soul, Jenny. Love your soul. Thanks. Okay, let's go down a little bit. See what else you got. In the corner of my right eye. Okay, that's another thing. How many people? And I've been seeing a lot of activity with this kind of topic in X, which, as you guys know, is the only social media that I use. So follow me. It's Energy Jenny. And I've been seeing a lot of posts about people seeing entities on their peripheral. Is it peripheral view? There you go. Has it happened to you ever? It's always happened to me since I can remember. I mean, I think it's always been there. I think some of us probably see it a little bit more often than others, but today, with all these changes that are happening energetically, I feel like there's just so many more entities and ghosts, let's say, out there that people are seeing it more often. So even those that maybe never saw it before. So the question was, how many of you are actually seeing, dark entities in the corner of your eyes? And poof, so many people started, answering. And it's because maybe could it be that when we look forward, it's our conscious mind, the one that's aware and the one that's awake. So whatever's on the side, it works with our subconscious maybe. You know how they say that when we go to a place, we can actually see so many thousands, right, of things and images that if we actually go back to do some kind of regression, we can actually remember things that we never paid attention to. Okay, so you could be, for example, like right now I'm in the studio, right? And if I did a regression, I could probably see what my cats are doing right now. I don't know. But yeah, that's real, that's true. So we only pay attention to this, right? But there's so much more that our brain is actually registering that we can get back to and actually, see, oh, hey, it's there. So the more entities that are there, the more that we're going to be exposed to them and we're going to see them, yeah. Gonzalo, soy de Tacuarembó, te sigo siempre, muy sexy, gracias. Saludos, Tacuarembó. Have you ever been to New Jersey? Yes, I have. Maybe 10 years ago or so. I have family there, so yeah, not for too long though. Did you went out for the rest of Labor Day weekend? I'm in Mexico, so no Labor Day weekend here, you guys. Just a regular day. All right, continuing. By the way, how many of you do have this third eye developed? And how was it when you started developing it more? Did you notice? Or do you even remember when it got clogged? Like, do you remember having your third eye open when you were a kid? And all of a sudden, eventually, little by little, you just stopped seeing the things that you would normally see, and the normality of your life became this dimension. How boring, right? That this is all we see. So can it be dangerous if we're not ready to open our third eye? Yes. How about therapies, okay? Natural herbs or medicine therapies where you actually open up the right side of your brain, the creative side of your brain all at once. Some people are not ready to see what is unveiled, and they come back from those trips totally freaked out, and they can have nightmares for a long time. They can continue to have these expressions and these expressions of fear, and the fear normally happens if you're negative. So if you're looking to do these therapies, if you're looking to do these retreats, right, with ayahuasca, or we've talked about this before, with bufo, with mushrooms, with any of what Earth has given, which is the natural medicines. The natural medicines of our ancestors, that's what we call them here in Mexico. You have to make sure that you're positive. You have to make sure that you are as clean and purged as positive as possible. Because if not, you're going to connect with what you have. And if what you have is dark, unfortunately, you're going to be traumatized because you're not ready to see what's inside of you. A lot of you have some really, really dark stuff. And I'm talking about like the kind of stuff that you would see in movies, like bugs looking stuff and entities, cockroaches looking, or I mean, I think mine looked like some kind of spider with double the eyes that they normally have. The first time I saw my demon, I think years ago, yeah, that it looked like, yeah, it was a bug. It was a huge freaking black bug. So you can't put like a face to these things. Everybody has something different, and you can get rid of them, of course. You can fight them. You can, but what I'm trying to say is that if you're looking to do any of these kind of retreats or any of these medicines, that you need to be very careful because you can come back traumatized. You can, and it can be dangerous. Don't do it with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. Definitely, there's a lot of people that can call themselves shamans that really have no idea whatsoever in how to control energies or manipulate energies, so be really careful, because the moment that you become vulnerable to these natural medicines, okay, you open up your energy completely. Your mind opens, so you start seeing the dimension that you're really in. You start seeing what's inside of your soul, and you could not ever come back, you know, if you're not in a safe space. That's another thing. But are you ready to face that entity? Are you ready to face that negativity that you might have that a lot of you call karma? Karma comes along with negative energy, unfortunately, I have to tell you. So if you have some kind of karma, you have inevitably some kind of negative energy inside of you or around you. There's people that don't have karma. There's people that are positive, or maybe, you know, what they have, they get rid of really easy with their family or friends, and they purge really easy. But there's other people that there's people that are just so weak energetically that they are constantly absorbing negativity from others, from situations. Like if there could be two people standing right in front of each other, right? And maybe going into a space where there's a lot of dark energy, one of them is going to absorb more than the other. So it really depends on how strong your soul and your shield is to protect yourself from this. And doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that your energy is a little weak. That's why it's important, and we always talk about, right, everything is done in pairs. We balance each other out. When you find your soulmate, right, man or woman, when you find the person to be with, you kind of create this protection energy around both of you that repels anything that's negative. So it's like you create this beautiful white dome of protection, and if there's negativity in any of these two people, eventually it will just kind of start burning itself out. It'll wear itself out, unless you allow it to win. Of course, this is where, you know, dilemmas in a marriage start happening, or you fight for no reason, and you're like, well, but if we love each other, why are we fighting? Be smart about it. Why are you fighting? But yeah, opening up your brain for that split second, however long those therapies can be for you, because it could be something as fast as 10 minutes or as long as 5 hours. You want to make sure that you're ready to see what you're going to see. I remember I got my mom to do, she's not going to like that I'm going to mention this, but I got her to do a medicine when she came to Tulum a bunch of years back. And she said she saw herself from the womb. It reminded me, the way that she explained it reminded me of the movie Lucy. Remember how she's sitting on a chair and all of a sudden it goes through a wormhole, right? And gets to the point where she's being born, and then she sees the universe and the creation and how everything started. That's exactly what happened to her. She was screaming the whole time. She's very, very susceptible to these things, very pure. So she said, never again. She's like, never again in my life am I going through that. But it was something that I wouldn't take back, she said, because what I saw was creation. She's like, and I saw the suffering of people. I saw the energies, how they hover over people. And yeah, so it shows you, if you're ready for it, these medicines will show you what you need to see. Because also remember that we all have different paths for a reason, and in the sense that we all have different missions to comply. So if your mission is that of helping others, you're going to be shown the suffering of people, basically. But yeah, all these things you can see in a regular basis. Like, you don't need these medicines to do so. It's just that for the regular person, they need that to be able to basically get like slapped out of their reality so they can see the other reality and know the medicine is not making this up. It's just helping you see what's really there. So just be careful, that's all. And don't do it if you're not ready, of course. I've always seen weird things. 1 minute they're there, and the next minute they're gone. But I've seen the lady in white in my hometown in Rochester. I've seen a lot of weird shit. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think the more busy cities are, the more experiences you're probably going to have. So I think the most important thing is that whatever it is that you're experiencing, if it's positive or negative, if you start seeing entities in the side of your head, okay, in the side of your face, you make sure that your energy is positive, pure, and you're always thriving and moving forward, because these entities have the power to affect you and to infiltrate thoughts into your mind. Okay, where this is when the suicidal thoughts come in. This is when the thoughts of fighting with your partner come in, that you're not really wanting to do it. But whatever's there, if it's dark and it's negative, it's going to try to affect your peace, and it's going to try to break whatever positive energy you're generating with your partner or with your family. So specifically, if you're seeing them in your home, you gotta ignore them, or you gotta actually talk back at them and say, off. Okay, because if you don't do that, if you don't put a stand, they're going to be there. Even if you close your eyes and you say, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe, they're still going to be there, and they're still going to be sending little thoughts to your mind. So it's important for you to be intelligent and realize when these things happen, so that you can put a stop to them. Okay, and it's like if you had somebody next to you, like a bully. What would you say to a bully that's next to you? You would just tell it to, buzz off. So that's exactly what I want you to do if you see this in a home. That way you can keep the peace, keep the positivity flowing, and continue to progress. Today, there is a lot of dark entities around. So we must fight them. We must fight them, and the only way to do this is with your intelligence. Okay? All right, my loves, we're going to continue tomorrow. Jenny, you have to watch these YouTube videos of cow and horse hooves being fixed and cleaned. It's so zen and satisfying. I've seen a couple, and it's true, And then it makes me sad, because then I think, well, what about the wild horses, or or the cows that don't get that kind of treatment? Like, isn't nature perfect? Hi, Robert from Melbourne. How are you? Okay, to finish up, no, you know what? We're going to keep this for tomorrow. Continue talking about the third eye. Why not? All right, my loves. See you tomorrow, same time here in Jenny Live, 7 p.m. from Tulum. Have an amazing evening. And if you have any topics or questions, please let us know for the next show, jenny@miamitv.com. Kisses, and we'll continue now for members only in Miami TV with a positive energy seminar. Bye-bye.